You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
Ozarks investigators believe 4 people beat, branded, and raped a woman. The accused are all about 18 to 20 years old. Glad you could join us tonight. I'm Ashley Ketz. These 3 suspects right here are in jail tonight: Charles Medina, Angelina Medina, and Kristen Prince. The 4th suspect is David Allen Lowry. He has not been arrested. Color 10's Kevin Schwaller visited Niangua today, where the Webster County Sheriff believes this attack happened. Kevin?
And he thinks it happened in a trailer on the back of a piece of property more than a month ago. Today, the Webster County Sheriff's Office got the arrest warrants, and we're learning what happened just before this attack.
Sometimes when you hear things, it's just hard to believe you're hearing it.
That was Webster County Sheriff Roy Cole's reaction to what investigators think happened on this street.
But at some point, there were the 5 of them together.
2 girls, 2 guys, all about 18 to 20 years old, and the victim.
The 4 suspects accused the 1 victim of stealing money from a family member. That led to just a vicious assault. One of the suspects actually used the phrase Superman punch and punched her in the face, knocking her unconscious, and they continued to beat her while she was unconscious.
Investigators claim in court documents Kristen Prince said the victim said stop close to 100 times. Charles said his sister Nicole Medina branded the victim with a wire clothes hanger.
There was question at one point, they were afraid they could have killed her.
Nicole Medina went to this church in Conway. People here knew her as Pineapple. The pastors tell us that they were working to get her away from bad influences and help her make good choices. They were shocked when they heard what happened, and they said it was out of character.
And after the 2 women left, the sheriff believes Charles Medina held down the victim while David Lowry sexually assaulted her.
When it comes to domestic violence and sexual violence, it is the secret that the community keeps, sadly.
Victim advocate Heather Corneliuson works with the Webster County Victim Assistance Program.
We're going to talk about safety first, and then we're going to talk about legal advocacy. The fact that there's warrants out makes my day.
Cole has spent his life in law enforcement. This case stands out.
And I've seen things that are very, very bad, but I've never seen this type of case exactly that played out like this.
Online court documents show no court dates are set yet. Bond for each of the accused is set at $250,000.
Thanks, Kevin. Police are crediting an anonymous tip for leading them to the woman believed to be responsible for a Springfield abduction. Cynthia Brown Heisler is charged with 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child and first-degree tampering. The 37-year-old was already in the Greene County Jail serving time on unrelated charges when she was arrested. This is video from back on March 2nd when police say she stole a car in a parking lot on East Commercial. According to court documents, Brown, quote, freaked out when she noticed 2 kids in the back seat, 4-year-old Jerry, who you just saw, and 1-year-old Harmony Blue right there, were found later on in the day. The situation prompted a statewide Amber Alert. Meanwhile, new tonight at 10, Fairgrove's government shutdown stays in place since the Board of Aldermen again failed to pass the 2013 budget. Color 10's Laura Kennedy was at this special meeting tonight. So, Laura, a lot of people want to know what happens now.
Well, as of tonight, the city will begin an emergency plan set by state law to continue operating under last year's budget. The public sure packed the house tonight at the special session. There was an overwhelming sense of frustration among the residents of the small city. Some told me the board members refusing to pass the budget is an embarrassment to the city and a power play. Several members of the public spoke at the meeting. They brought up issues going back to the board's voting to fire the mayor 1 month ago and the mayor's subsequent lawsuit. There's also frustration over the firing of the police chief and city attorney.
I want police, I want our chief of police, I want our mayor, I want things back in order in our town, and I'd like to know why they're not in order.
The budget will go on the agenda for the regular meeting next week, but it looks unlikely the board members will pass it until an issue with transportation funds is resolved. And Greene County Sheriff Jim Arnott also spoke at that meeting about possibly contracting deputies to work in Fairgrove if it's necessary.
Here we are, day 2 of the shutdown. It looks like it's going to continue for some time.
They are in a situation there.
Yep, we'll continue to follow it. Thanks, Laura. New tonight, debris left behind by last week's big thunderstorm could be a fire hazard come 4th of July. The city of Nixa is being proactive about it. Today, crews were out picking up piles of tree limbs and brush in the yards. Residential streets all across Nixa are lined with debris. City city crews are going from one side of the city to the other, but they predict it will take weeks to pick up everything left behind.
We are not going to have it done by the July 4th, so we're asking residents if they still have their piles in the yard, if they choose to shoot off fireworks on the 4th of July, that they just use extra caution around those piles.
The city also has a recycling center for people to go drop off their debris. That is at 1093 Eagle Crest in Nixa. Well, things are much calmer tonight. Jamie Warner's here with your Ozarks First forecast.
Well, that fire hazard actually twofold. Obviously, you have this leftover storm debris, but we've also seen a drying trend in the weather pattern. You know, the first half of June, we saw over 2 inches of rainfall. Remember the flash flooding that we saw during the middle of the month of June. Since then, we've only seen about 1/4 of an inch of rainfall here in the Springfield area, and that pretty much holds for much of the Ozarks. And so with that drying, the grounds have gotten drier, and it's just going to be a little bit more dangerous for folks that are shooting off fireworks. So use a lot of caution on the 4th of July, but still have fun. Temperatures outside right now are very cool for this time of the year, dropping through the 60s. 65 currently in Springfield. I think on our way to see overnight lows once again in the 50s tonight. We were just a degree shy of tying the record low here in Springfield and dropped down to 55. Joplin actually set a new record low this morning at 53 degrees. On radar, it's been quiet all day long. But now we've got a few showers and thunderstorms, which are trying to make a run at the Ozarks, but they are falling apart with the loss of that daytime heating. And I think all we're going to find is a little cloud cover moving into areas between Joplin and Camdenton. I think we're going to start off mostly sunny tomorrow. Temperatures, though, will warm, and we'll find those skies bubbling up with clouds. And I think a better chance that you might have to use that umbrella tomorrow afternoon to look at why and how long that weather pattern may last coming up.
Thanks, Jamie. Thousands of people who work at Fort Leonard Wood are frustrated about unpaid time off. Civilian employees there will be furloughed starting Monday as part of federal budget cuts known as sequestration. There was a town hall style meeting today for those employees. The commanding general explained the process surrounding the 11 days workers must stay at home. People are upset about the financial hit they are about to take.
I don't like the way it's being done in the national level. If it's the same for everybody, every government employee ought to have the same number of days, and that includes people that run the airplanes.
These civilian workers are not able to take the 11 furlough days consecutively. The people we spoke with are taking them 1 day a week from July 8th until September 30th. Senator Claire McCaskill believes her jobs plan will help Missouri. Today she toured Springfield Transportation Management Center and unveiled her idea. Next week she plans to introduce bipartisan legislation that would cut government red tape on infrastructure projects here in Missouri. She says the bill will help companies get permits faster and put workers on the job fixing bad bridges and roads. McCaskill says Missouri has an infrastructure crisis.
We cannot have a strong economy in Missouri if we do not have an ongoing commitment to investing in our highways, our bridges, and even our locks and dams and projects on our great rivers.
McCaskill blames the Missouri legislature for not addressing infrastructure needs. A report from the organization Transportation for America recently ranked Missouri as 10th in the nation when it comes to deficient bridges. Arkansas's Attorney General, meanwhile, has rejected a petition to let Arkansas voters decide on medical marijuana. Dustin McDaniel says the proposal had ambiguities in the text. The petitioners can submit it again, and the group Arkansas for Medical Cannabis plans to do that. An Ozarks family has a new member of the family for 5 weeks this summer, all the way from Latvia. A 12-year-old girl, her name is Manta, is an orphan. She's getting the opportunity to spend time right here in America and experience family life. The hosting program is part of New Horizons for Children. The group brings more than 300 school-age children from China and Eastern Europe to spend time with families across the country. These kids receive an eye exam and glasses if they need them, also dental care and anything else they might not be able to have back home.
This is an opportunity not just for them to have fun for 5 weeks in the summer, but for them to change the course of their life.
New Horizons for Children is not an adoption agency, though. It is against the immigration adoption laws of both the United States and Latvia, where Manta is from, to even discuss adoption. Manta is here on a short-term visitor's visa. She will return to Latvia on August 1st. Most of the services are donated, but the Hills pay for her expenses. A longtime Color 10 employee has died. Terry Moore was a reporter here for 42 years. You may remember his medical series called Health Beat and another one called Ozarks Chronicles. Terry Moore was 77 years old. Local news tonight. Flags will be flying above Branson's Gretna Road, but they may not be there much longer. This annual tradition needs some funding. A veterans task force has displayed those banners for 13 years now. That task force relies completely on private donations and volunteers. Each of the flags cost over $25. Most of them have to be replaced at least 3 times a year. The man who takes care of the flags worries that the group hasn't raised enough money to keep them flying.
I've seen the avenue when it's had no flags on it, and it's a lonely look. Once I put these flags up this year, I will have barely enough to keep them flying through December.
And if you'd like to learn more about maybe sponsoring one of those flags on the Avenue of Freedom, just visit ozarksfirst.com. This Thursday, Midtown Springfield will be packed for the old-fashioned 4th of July parade. It began 23 years ago when organizers wanted to honor our nation and the Midtown community. The parade begins on Benton Avenue, just in front of Drury, and ends at Washington Park. There are multiple floats as well as high-wheel bicycles like you see there. Also a Victorian ladies drill team. Jim Downing and Nancy Hackett are the organizers.
and bringing people back to Midtown is the whole idea of this parade. Many of the houses here are built in the 1880s right up to 1920s, so we wanted to do an old-fashioned 4th of July.
There was nothing to do in Springfield on the 4th of July, so why not have a parade and invite the whole city to come and have a good time with us.
That parade begins at 10 a.m. on July 4th. There will be some free ice cream and drinks being served at Washington Park, where everything wraps up. And also Central High School students will be there selling hot dogs and hamburgers. The 4th of July is not the only big event happening this week. It is also the 150th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg. Color 10 and our news partner KOZL plan to air a special called Remembering Gettysburg, 150 years. It details the critical fight during the Civil War and the lasting impact of the conflict on the town and the future of the United States. There are several ways that you can catch the special. You can see it from 6:30 to 7 tomorrow here on Color 10. Then it airs on KOZL from 8:30 until 9 Wednesday night. There will be another showing on KOZL Thursday night from 10 until 10:30. And hopefully the rain is going to hold off for our 4th of July, Jamie.
Well, I think a lot of areas are going to stay dry, but there are going to be some spots that probably pick up a little wet weather. We got a little wet weather, I think, coming our way for tomorrow as well. We'll take a look at why and whether or not that continues into the upcoming holiday weekend. And your full forecast coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, I hope you're enjoying this wonderfully cool weather pattern because it is July. It is not going to last, and hotter temperatures and more humid conditions are on the way. It's part of the 7-day forecast, but right now we're still sort of reaping the benefits of this trough of low pressure that's located across the eastern United States. And basically the trough axis is located right about in here. And the reason why I say that is you can see that we've got a little chunk of upper level energy here lifting toward the north, and then on the west side of that we've got a chunk of upper level energy here dropping toward the south. And I think it's going to be this little area of upper level energy that could lead to a little bit of wet weather, at least in spots, over the next couple of days. And this may have a bit of an impact on our 4th of July forecast as well. And here's what I'm looking at. Basically, you know, here's our trough, here's our upper level low. This main chunk is located right here. That was actually responsible for a cloudy, wet day in the St. Louis area and south down toward about Farmington. And underneath those clouds and showers, highs only in the 60s today. How about that for the second day of July? Now, under the sunshine, we did manage to make it into the upper 70s and low 80s across our area, but that's still cooler than normal, almost 10 degrees cooler than normal. But let's get to this forecast of why I think we may see a little bit of wet weather over the next couple of days. Here's that chunk of upper level energy. It will continue to drop toward the south as we head through 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. And then it looks like it's going to park itself on top of northeast Oklahoma and western Missouri Wednesday evening, and then gradually begin to pull its way through the area during the day on Thursday. And it looks like for both days we're going to tend to be on the eastern side of that upper level energy, and I think with some daytime heating, that's going to be enough to get a few showers and thunderstorms bubbling up during the heat of the afternoon, and they'll likely linger into the early evening before they fade away. But don't get too worried about it. If you've got outdoor plans on Thursday the 4th, I think you're probably going to be fine in the morning, and then in the afternoon or early evening, just keep an eye to the sky. If you're out boating, if you're out on the river, obviously you don't want to get caught outdoors if there's lightning, so just keep an eye to the sky. If you see that dark cloud billowing up, you start hearing those cracks of thunder, it's time to bring that boat on in and get on indoors. And it won't last very long. These will be brief passing showers and thunderstorms. So here's where we go. From 10 o'clock this evening through the morning hours, you can see maybe some cloudiness toward the west across southwest Missouri. Tomorrow looks like we'll probably start off mostly sunny to partly cloudy, and then we'll go partly cloudy in the afternoon with a few spotty showers and thunderstorms developing across the area. Those will fade Wednesday night, only to be repeated again during the day on Thursday. And I know that looks pretty ominous. Looks like a lot of green on the map. I think what we see on Thursday will be isolated to widely scattered at best. Overnight tonight, again, still another wonderfully cool night. 56 for the overnight low. The record low, if I remember, is, I believe, 52 degrees for tomorrow morning for Springfield. So while it will get close, we're not going to set a record low, but still unusually cool for this time of the year. Average lows are 67 for this time of the year. Tomorrow we'll see highs into the low 80s. Again, those spotty showers and thunderstorms possible in the afternoon hours. Thursday looks like highs in the mid 80s. So there's your warmer weather if you're going to be out at the lake or at the river. 86 on Friday, I think mostly sunny and dry. 88 on Saturday, mostly sunny. And both of these days fairly low humidity, so not bad outside even though the temperatures will be warmer. Humidity really comes in on Sunday and looks like we'll feel like summer certainly Sunday into next week. There'll be a few spotty showers and thunderstorms as well Sunday afternoon, Monday afternoon, and Tuesday afternoon. So Ashley, I hope everybody is enjoying the cool weather. Even if you're not a cool weather fan, enjoy this because heat will be back.
It will, and you know, we have a few more days of this, so we don't have to say bye to it yet.
Yeah,
we get to enjoy it, and it'll
you're
help our
going to love
bills.
that electricity bill, and you're like, wow, it wasn't too bad in July.
Yeah, we like it. Thanks, Jamie.
You bet.
Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves, throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter.
Oh yes, Major League Baseball has its first no-hitter of the season. Highlights from Cincinnati and the K next.
And now, Color 10 Sports with Dan Lucy.
St. Louis Cardinals continued their West Coast road trip tonight in Anaheim. The Cardinals visiting an old friend, Albert Pujols. It's the first time that Pujols has faced his old teammates since leaving him after the 2011 campaign. Pujols and his teammates honoring the late Stan Musial with patches on their batting practice jerseys. Bottom of the first, a man on for Pujols. First at bat against his old mates. Lance Lynn strikes him out. Yadier Molina throws out J.B. Shuck, trying to steal second. The old strike him out, throw him out, double play. 0-0 second. Angels get to Lynn in the second. Mark Trumbo singles to right, scoring Josh Hamilton. It's 1-0. Then Alberto Callaspo would follow with a single to left. Howie Kendrick comes in to score to make it 2-0. And right now it's 5-1 Angels in the fifth inning. Kansas City Royals opened a 6-game homestand tonight at the K in town. The first place Cleveland Indians. The Royals split their 4-game series in Minnesota over the weekend. That moved Kansas City to within 4.5 of the Indians in the AL Central. The Tigers started tonight's action just a half game out of first. Royals had Luis Mendoza on the hill, and he was in early trouble. Bases loaded. Top of the first, Mendoza walks Carlos Santana, forces in Michael Brantley, 1-0 Tribe. What's worse than a bases loaded walk? How about a bases loaded hit? Batsman. Mendoza beans Mark Reynolds. He's all right. Jason Kipnis scores. It was 2-0. Cleveland adds to it in the fourth as Drupal Cabrera singles to right. That scores Jason Giambi, as does Lonnie Chisenhall. That makes it 4-0. But the Royals get one of them back with one swing of the bat. Bases loaded in the fifth inning, and Alex Gordon rips this shot to right. It goes over the bullpen. A grand slam to make it 4-4. And the Cleveland Indians go on to win the final 6-5. So the Royals are now 38-42, and they'll continue this series tomorrow night. Cincinnati Reds pitcher Homer Bailey threw the first no-hitter of the big leagues in 2013 tonight. Reds beat the San Francisco Giants 3-0, but the story was Bailey. He not only pitched a no-hitter, but nearly had a perfect game. Seventh inning, he walked the Giants' Gregor Blanco. He was the only San Francisco player to reach first base. Bailey struck out 9 Giants for his second career no-hitter. It's been 10 weeks since Drury handed its women's basketball program to Steve Huber. The longtime Division I assistant coach is excited about building his own program at the Division II level. Today I sat down and chatted with Coach about the Lady Panthers, his new players, and his new staff. The complete interview will run on Ozark Sports Saturday, 9:30 on KOZL. Here's a little preview. Coach Huber coming to Springfield after 7 seasons as the top assistant at Creighton. He talked about the rich tradition of Drury women's basketball and getting back to the national tournament.
We want to be every year fighting for a conference championship, and in this league, if you're winning a conference championship, you're probably going to have a pretty good chance to go to the NCAA tournament. And once you get in the NCAA tournament, as our men are a testament to, anything can happen. But my first goal is we got to win conference championships here, and we got to be every year right there. And if we do that, it's going to give us the opportunity to play the NCAA tournament.
Mizzou basketball product and current Detroit Tiger Kim English wrapped up his 2-day youth basketball camp down at the Fieldhouse in Southwest Springfield today. After working camps for kids, English will become a camper. He will go to the NBA's Summer Basketball League. English did not get a ton of playing time in his rookie season in Detroit. The shooting guard played only 10 minutes, averaging 3 points and 1 rebound a game.
It was a huge learning experience. Didn't play a lot, so I had to really take the season in stride and learn as much as I could from being on the bench and traveling and watching games. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this year's off-season training and what's next.
All right, so we'll see what can happen with Kim English.
Yeah.
No hitter tonight.
And big night in baseball.
Yeah.
I know my dad will be talking about that one tomorrow. Thanks, Dan. We'll be right back.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Color 10 News will continue in a moment.
Well, we have a couple of more nights of fireworks, Jamie. The next 2 nights, actually.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday.
When you're saying fireworks, I think you mean like a few spotty showers and storms, right?
Well, I mean the real fireworks.
Well, we got that on the 4th. I guess you're right.
Hey, in Branson tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow.